I'm really sorry for the lack of videos lately. Actually, my computer went down, so I just recently fixed it. And the first thing we did was we went on stream and we unlocked the Heated Madness blueprint. This thing is sick. I'm really enjoying how they did this whole weapon parts thing in the new Koschei complex. So there's 5 weapon parts you are going to need to find all in the complex, and they're all in different areas. But here's the thing, I'm going to explain it to you like you're a 5-year-old. So don't worry, I'm going to break it down in the most simplest terms as possible, and then you can get this sweet, look at this thing. The Heated Madness just looks dope, eh? I love it. The first item we're going to be looking for is the barrel. This is probably the easiest thing, but you will need the night vision goggles for this because we are going to be going into the chemical plant, which obviously is one of the darkest areas, and it's just best to have these night vision goggles on. You just want to make sure that you're wearing them. Other than that, all you have to do is make sure you find the shack. And here's the thing, I always find it in these vent areas as I'm crawling through them. That's where I found it on this one, but sometimes people find it next to boxes. It's just randomly in here somewhere. But my best bet is just to always look in the vents because I find it there more times than not. The next attachment I want to show you is the Optic. So for this one, you will need a rebreather. I would recommend grabbing 2, to be honest. That's what I did, but you will need at least 1. And to get one of these in Al Mazrah before you infill into the complex, I highly recommend you find out where all the hospitals are on the map. So if you know where a hospital is, good. That's where you should be looking because that's where I found my rebreathers. But here's the thing, if you don't know, guess what? Right there is a thumbnail for a video I have. I'll put it in the description down below, but I teach you all the hospital locations in Al Mazrah, and I would say this is one of the most important things to know, to be honest. Now, after you've got all your rebreathers, I want you to go to this infill for the complex in Turok Village. So this is the one that's under the bridge. It's not hard to get to, but you have to go and infill here because this is where the Optic is. Now, when you first get in here, you're going to go through like a little water maze. You don't need the rebreather for this part. You're just going to find this hole. It's a square hole. You're going to come up upon this. There's going to be a couple of guys for you to kill. After you clear this area, there's actually on your right a little area for you to throw some nades. And now here's something that's really important is make sure you have some sort of C4 or something on you. I'm sure you already do, but in case you don't, make sure you do. So right here, as you can see, when you come up here, it forks in the road, but on the right, you can see that there's like that little wooden X there, or the little red X on the wood. Just throw something there, destroy it. You can use a grenade, C4, Semtex, all that stuff. You have so many options. After that, you're going to go down below, and here's where you need the rebreather. So make sure you get the rebreather equipped, you guys. Now, after that, you can just go down below here, and there's going to be a bunch of little rooms for you to check. I want you to go to the left here, and I want you to go to where this red arrow is. I want you to go in there, and I want you to check that first. This is the first room I want you to check. This is where I found mine, but here's the thing. See, there it is. There's the Optic, but here's the thing. It's not always in this room. It could be in the room across from you. It can be, you know, all the way down if you want. That's it, like, it's somewhere down here, like the other one, like I was talking about with the barrel. It could be through these double doors, this door. I just need you to make sure you check everything, and you will find it down here. And afterwards, all you have to do is get back out and then go find an extract, and you're good to go. The muzzle is the next attachment we're going to try to go find. This is actually one of the hardest ones, to be honest. So just, you know, take your time. But something I'm going to ask you to grab first, prep wise, is definitely night vision goggles, a couple of jumper cables, and at least 1 battery, only because you will need an extra battery and jumper cables once you get into the chemical room itself. Sorry, I didn't mean chemical room, I meant the chemical plant. But once you are in the chemical plant, you're going to look for this little shack in the middle of it, and inside of here you will find the R4D detector. This is very important because you can't do it without this. So make sure you grab this. You can equip it if you are using, you know, stims. It's going to take over your stim slot, but you can just have it in your backpack so that when you need to use it, it's still there. After you grab this, I want you to go to the eastern wall, and you're going to be looking for the alpha cluster entrance. And you will know that you're there is because you'll see a light, like a little light over an area that you can put the battery and the jumper cables. Once you do this, you're going to be able to open this door into the area called alpha cluster. Now, once you make your way through some halls, you're going to find yourself in this area that looks like a big server room. It's called the alpha cluster room though. And what I want you to do is be very careful, because there's a ton of AI, a bunch of tripwires, and just even turrets in here. So just be really careful. But what you're looking for is one of those overlooked areas. Like it's just up some stairs. You're gonna have to find it. But there's a couple of these areas that overlook the server room, I would say, just like this one that we're in right now. But the one you are particularly looking for has 2 turrets and a bunch of AI on it. So once you find that overlook room that has 2 turrets and a bunch of AI, you know you're in the right place. Now, once you clear it out, you're going to see this yellow door here with a keypad, and you don't know the code yet. So what you have to do is grab your R4D. You're going to have to shine it on top of this. And once you do, you're going to see these weird symbols, right? And now what you have to do is you have to go down below into the server area itself, find blackboards, use this R4D, and the blackboards that have your symbols will also correspond a number. And that will also now tell you what is the key, right? So let me show you though. We're gonna shine the R4D on this chalkboard. And as you can see, one of the logos I'm looking for is this B. And as you can see, it points to an 8. So now I know that the second number is 8. Now you keep kind of going about this until you find your next symbol on the next chalkboard. And I can tell you, hey, go find the third one also. But in all honesty, you only need to find 2 of the numbers out, because you have infinite amount of guesses. As long as you know 2 out of 3, you can just guess the last number, right? If it's 28 something, you can just guess 281, then 282, then 283, then 284. You know what I mean? So you can just cheat on the last number. You really only need to find the first 2. And once you are in this room, this is where the muzzle is. So after you loot all that juicy stuff, there's the muzzle. Grab it. Now just make your way out and extract. We're going to be looking for the grip now, and this one is just as hard as the previous one. I'm telling you right now. You will need, for prep wise, again, you need those jumper cables. You're going to need a car battery and night vision goggles if you can from Al Mazrah before you infill, because we need to go back to the alpha cluster room. But this is where I like to infill, just to let you guys know. I like to go to the downtown Al Mazrah city entrance, and this is where I feel, I don't know, I just like this area, and you do need a little bit of RNG on your side, and I just feel like this is the best area for these items. And you're probably asking yourself, Geeks, what items are you talking about, buddy? Well, it's these AQ laptops that you're going to be trying to find before you go into the chemical plant itself. So once you clear this area of all the bad guys and everything, just start searching every single room. And your goal is to get 3 of these AQ laptops. Now I found 2, and then I found the third one near the alpha cluster room, but it's all RNG whether or not they're there. I would tell you, try to find at least 2 out of 3 before you even go into the chemical plant itself. Once you are in the chemical plant, again, you want to look for that eastern wall. You want to hit the jumper cables and battery, put it there, and then make your way to the door and, you know, press the big button, and then the door open till alpha cluster room. But remember that you can search this area for AQ laptops. I've actually never found one in the chemical plant, but hey, it doesn't hurt to try, right? So once you do make your way into the alpha cluster room again, it's again the server looking room. There's going to be these, I would say I call them columns, these server columns. And what you want to do is you want to jump onto these, and you're going to see these wires coming from them. This is where you hook up all 3 laptops. And let me tell you this is also another good location to find AQ laptops. But once you find out where to place all 3 of them, in the far west corner is going to be this door that opens. And hey, after you hooked them up, this door opens up, you go inside of here, and this is where the weapon attachment is. The last item we're going to go find is the magazine. Now, this is something you're going to need to prep some rad blockers and some gas masks for, because you're going to be in gas for a while here trying to find this magazine. So make sure you're going into a lot of hospitals. You're trying to find all these items because hospitals are stocked full of this stuff. You don't have to go anywhere else. And if you're asking yourself, hey Geeks, where are hospitals on Alamazra? Again, in the description down below, I have a video on where they all are, and you should memorize these because they're just so useful to know. The infill you have to use is actually a specific one, and it's not marked. It's north of Rohan Oil, and this is the one that you just have to go to the sand dunes for. It's there, trust me, it's just not marked, but you have to infill here. Now, once you get here, there's going to be 3 different chambers you're going to get into that have gas in them, and you have to hit a button to close these panels inside of here so that the gas, you know, gets put into. Either way, you just have to go into these before you close them. That's all I'm going to say, is go into these little chambers. That's a good word for these chambers. Go into these chambers and consistently look for that magazine case. It can be in any one of these chambers. It's not in a particular one, but some do have to be closed by a wheel next to them. But here's the other thing I forgot about, is that some have to be open with the wheel. So it's not like when you go into each of these areas that they're only the ones that are open for you. You can actually open the other ones that have a wheel next to them. So you just got to keep looking in these chambers for that magazine piece. It's somewhere here, but here's the thing. If it's not, you're going to find 2 keys in here that you need to collect. And if you go into all the chambers, there's a bunch of them, and you still don't find anything, then what you have to do is you have to use those 2 keys at the end, open the door up, and inside of there will be the magazine case then. There's only a couple of rooms that you can really check for this, but again, it's the tombs or it's this area. And in this area is where I found the magazine case. It was just hanging out right here, as you can see. And yeah, it's not too hard to figure this out, guys. It's just more of like a nuisance where you have to go into every tomb. You have to check every single one. And if they're not there, okay, you have to collect those 2 keys. And yeah, it's doable though. I really hope I explained that well enough. If you have any questions, hey, always comment down below and I will try my best to answer. Or here's the thing, you can come to twitch.tv/Geekseh. I stream 4 days a week. You can ask me questions there and I will always answer. And yeah, thank you guys so much for just hanging out, being a part of the community. I'm sorry again, I was behind on videos, but my computer did break down. We're back at it. So remember, if you guys enjoy this content, subscribe to the channel. It's free for you guys. It means the world to me. And until next time, I'll talk to everyone later.